welcome in. That was weird. Screwing everything up. I can't even hear myself. Hold on. Let me do that again. It's embarrassing. My God. Welcome in to the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week, Monday through Friday, at about this same time. Typically, I like to be earlier, but I rarely am. The show originates in the posh Impact Power Sports studios. Excuse me, Impact Power Sports. Online at impactpowersportsmi.com. That's where you can get a brand new Yamaha golf cart. Gas-powered, propane-powered, you name it. How about a side-by-side, ATV, UTV, motorcycle, e-bike, snowmobile, go-kart. Oh, God, I would love a go-kart. Mini bike. Did you ever have a mini bike when you were growing up? Those have made a big comeback. You can buy one of those one-wheel things that you can, it's like a skateboard, but it's got one big fat tire in the middle. They're located on 14 Mile Road in Rockford, Michigan. It was brought to my attention by several audience members. Easy, did you see this on Reddit? It was concerning something, and I'm bringing it up now. It's perfect timing because today is a Big Fraud Thursday. Ben and I will feature Who Are These Free Beers for 1 hour at about 6 p.m. Eastern Time live on Patreon, and follow that up with the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. By the way, I would say I'm about 93% healthy. Still have the sore throat issue to some degree, but I'll be fine. Heads up. Lights have been flickering around here for some reason. I don't know. The weather and wind is causing turmoil. If it goes dark, you know what happened. So people are tipping me off to a discussion on Reddit that something was weird on our beloved Free Beer and Hot Wings show from yesterday. And I guess this happened. Well, it did happen because I listened to it. And they're... Like the show has ended, they do a additional 30 minutes online content only. They call it segment 17. And this is wow, this is interesting to me because it started out going one direction, innocently enough. And then it got like fucking real. And wow. And I went into this giving benefit of the doubt. Greg started the segment with this, it was a warm and fuzzy, I guess, is what it's described as, where he was like, for some reason, he was saying that he was having a conversation with his kids, and the topic came up about what does it take for a maturing young person to become a good man? Like good qualities. I can't wait to talk about this with Ben because it's like, what has happened to this show when that's your take? That's what you're discussing. How to be a good guy. I mean, not that I would want my kids to be a bad guy, but there's nothing really. I mean, this is supposed to be a funny show, but I guess, they've changed the direction of the show to be like, whatever. This is like religious broadcasting shit at this point. So anyway, sorry, I just got a text. So their Hot Wings is given the I just follow the golden rule. If you want respect, you gotta be respectful of others. All these sweet things are being said. And then Greg turns and says to Kelly, as a lady, what would make my kids to be good men? And she, instead of just focusing on it, it was almost like she was looking for one little door to, like the door to open up just a little bit so that she could kick it in with this thing that's been bothering her. And from what I'm gathering, and she was a little vague in describing what had happened, but she's very upset because, as I understand it, and like I said, she didn't do that. She wasn't that particularly detailed in what went on. But from what I can gather, something happened before their live show at some point where I think she was combining stories to make one big element that she's not something that she would want in a good man. So she basically used Greg's topic to air her grievances with the management of the radio station. She was upset with someone who's higher up than them and had a conversation, and she was upset about it. And she started to bitch about this scenario that happened. And I'm going to spare you all the boring details because I'm going to play it on Who Are These Free Beers with Ben. We're going to break this down. But from what I can gather, she felt slighted and kind of like women are treated differently than dudes. And I don't doubt that. I'm sure something bad did happen. I don't, and she is very sensitive to that. And that's cool. I don't care about that. It was just the timing of it was so odd. Here's Greg saying, so what would I want to impress upon my young boys to be good men? And then she used that as an opportunity to bitch about management of the radio station and something that happened that she is not at all pleased with. And then she took it a step further, and it was talked about on the subreddit. And then I listened back to it, and I kind of agree that they were all in this meeting and somebody was doing something that is not appropriate. Not like sexual, but just women not being treated the same as dudes. And she voiced that somebody from the show didn't say anything. Like, didn't stand up and say something. And then she said, you can't just say that you're supportive of women, and then when you get down to an opportunity to be supportive of women, not speak up. And I'm like, who the fuck is she talking about there? And then a little bit later on, or maybe before that, she mentioned that Hot Wings did in fact speak up. She goes, Hot Wings did speak up for me in this regard, and I thank him for this. And so I'm thinking that she kind of was sideways giving Free Beer a hard elbow to the chops. I mean, she was not fucking around. And so all the while, it got very, very quiet from the boys in that room, and they're trying to kind of attempting to add some clarity to it. And I'll play it all for you. It's really interesting. I thought it was a fantastic bit of work. I don't have a problem. I don't have a bit of a problem with the entertainment level of that. Fucking more of that. I have no qualms with the entertainment value because that's what was talked about in the people were talking about in the subreddit. I go, well, yeah, I agree. This is entertaining. Holy shit. She's taking hey, give me some good qualities for my boys and giving it's an opportunity for her to say, yeah, fuck you, management. I can't believe you did this shit to me. It was fucking great. And I think that the boys were trying hard to just, okay, we're in a very, very serious situation here. And if things if we don't keep this car in between the lines, this could get ugly quick. And I'll feature all of this. Steve says not a word. You don't even know he's in the goddamn room. Head down. Doesn't say anything. Hot Wings then kind of judo flips her on it. And this has gone down a road that's completely off of the beaten path of what the Burn King wanted to talk about in the first place. The poor guy, all he wanted to do, give me some tips for my kids to be good boys. And it turns into Kelly beating the shit out of everybody. I loved it. Go, girl! Wow. So I obviously it was something that was stuck in her craw. My only complaint is she wasn't descriptive enough as to what was bothering her. I think she came up just short of actually telling what. Her lack of detail made it seem like, at least from my standpoint, like I was like, well, I need more. What exactly are you bothered with specifically? What was said? But she was pissed. That's like the most entertained I've been to that show like in forever. We will cover that in today's Who Are These Free Beers? Ben has some clips as well that he wants to get to. I'll also feature on yesterday's show, the gang busted out a new game. Of course it's a game. And it was remarkably corny. But in this game, I established a fantastic supercut of laughs. I mean, some hardcore belly laughs here from this one segment. This will give you an idea of how hilarious it was. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the laughs from the now famous double entendre game. Outstanding work. I can't wait to cover it for you. Man Bun Chris says, anxiety-inducing stuff. Sorry, it sounds weird. I just put one of these cough drops in my mouth. Are you suggesting that made you feel weird? Play that laugh track after you tell a terrible joke, Zane. It would be like you're back in the studio with them. The crux of the double entendre game, of course, a double entendre, is you say something that has two meanings. So, like, for example, all right, say something that you would say to the doctor and put on your dating profile. And then each person on the spot comes up with something. The problem is it's very difficult to on the spot come up with something like that. And they proved that is very difficult because 0 of them were funny. However, you heard the reactions. That's how they were received. I don't understand why they give themselves or set themselves up for such failure there with those immediately you come up with something funny moment. That's even the best of comics can't do that shit. Tyler says the sound of laughter is usually contagious to me, but that laugh track makes me want to jump out of a window. Man Bun Chris adds, but you know they're not that funny. That's what makes the laughing so weird. Oh, dude, wait till you hear it. I only have 4 examples of their jokes. And then I couldn't take it anymore. Also yesterday, out of the blue, was getting ready to mow the lawn. And I got a notification on Facebook. A message, because anybody can message me. I don't care. This is what I saw. Mike Henry at 6:49 p.m. wrote, "Stop talking with Coleman." Now, I think it's correct to assume that this Mike Henry is not pleased with your old pal EZ because I talk with Coleman. Now, I've been talking with Coleman for 3 years. I usually get together with them once a year. We all go to Berlin Raceway. Coleman, his better half. Lisa, Matt, his partner in crime, and Matt's wife. I think Matt's wife is Nicole. Isn't that right? And their kids. Plus Pooh Bear, myself. We do the town like hillbillies do at the racetrack. This dynamic began because I was sitting there listening to, I was reviewing for Who Are These Free Beers? And Greg went off on Coleman and Coleman's mother. And Greg had a problem with Coleman's mother. And he called her out, and he what is that term you use when you dox? He informed the world where she works. She was like there's a local township, and she worked for the local township. And Greg was giving her the business and encouraging people to bust this lady's balls at work. It was all weird. Like I like to do, I reached out to her. I explained to her what was going on. Through that process, I met Coleman. We've been pals ever since. I have no idea who sent this to me. I have my thoughts, but I don't know. I'm not sure who would send this to me. So the first thing I did was I posted it to Facebook, and then I called him up, and I go, "What's going on here?" And he says, "I don't know, but it's good news. That means we're getting under people's skin." And now, we don't wake up every day and say, how are we going to get under people's skin? Well, I might, but I don't think he does. But the fact that somebody is doing that, I mean, if you're going to post that, I mean, I would take that as and I couldn't respond. I wanted to respond with, well, you know, why? Is he a bad dude? Or tell me some more. I mean, if you're just going to send me a clandestine message, I mean, that's not going to work. That's foolish. I will turn that around and immediately use that to my advantage. Whoever that is, you got to be an adult about things. Don't reach out to me under a fake account and just fire off some message with no hope of a discussion because I cannot respond to it. You know, I am a largely reasonable person, and I will always hear people out. If you've got a problem with me, just reach out to me and say so. You never know. Now, I can't say for sure that I'm going to do anything about it, but I'll at least have a conversation with you about it. If somebody has a problem with what I'm doing and who I talk to, but I honestly don't think it has anything to do with Greg. Maybe it does. So if I'm talking to Coleman, then someone either hears me talking about Coleman or someone who knows Coleman is talking about me talking to Coleman. I do know that Greg's wife comes from a Hilljack background. like that family is from a community called Dorr, Michigan. And yeah, Dorr is not a great place. It's I'm pretty sure there's animal sacrifices that go on there and whatnot. So I have to wonder if this is related to the nose, if I'm getting some heat from a person affiliated with the nose, or it's Greg himself, or it's the nose herself, or I don't know. Excuse me. Chris says, oh, that's definitely HLL area, Dorr, Michigan. They eat children down there. Yeah, I know. I used to ride my bike through there all the time. You don't want to stop there. Tyler says, it reminds me of a crime thriller when the detective is getting close to the truth and the bad guy anonymously threatens them to stop investigating. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It seems like a clandestine type of like a shot across the bow. If this is like Greg or anybody affiliated with Greg, it's like, I don't have to answer to anybody anymore. For 6.5 years. Well, in some cases, 9.5 years, actually. I'm no longer, do I have to worry about what I say or do when it comes to those people? So, come on now. I just found that exciting because when you do what I do, when you're hashtag EZ troll for life, and I've made this very, very clear, the worst possible thing you can ever do is indicate to me that you are receiving the message. All that does is, I'll never stop. But if you really want me to pick up the pace, let me know that the message is being received. Once that happens, I'm looking to turn up the heat. So do not, honestly, don't make the mistake of letting me know that you're paying attention to anything I do. It'll never get better. It'll never just go away, but it can only get worse. It can never get better. I'm offering this sage advice. It's a foolish thing to ever acknowledge anything that I ever do, ever. Don't be talking about me on the air. Don't make sideways comments because that is literally rocket fuel. That is doing nothing but make me go, yes, oh my God. Unless you feel like you've got enough firepower, and no one alive does, to actually make me back down. But that's not possible. No one has ever been able to do that. I'm really great at it. And humble, as you know. So, we're not going to be talking about this part on who are these free beers, but I just found this interesting that out of the blue, I get this this message. And I don't even put Coleman on this show. Trust me, Coleman is always, I try to look out for him because, I am well aware of the legal proceedings that have happened in the past with Coleman. And he's constantly wanting to be on here and to talk. And I'm like, no, I don't want you on this show. You will get yourself in trouble. Shut up and just relax. I don't want you on the show. You're going to get way into your feels and you're going to mouth off a little bit. You're going to go too hard in the paint. And the next thing you know, your narrow ass is going to be dragged into court. And I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Just continue to enjoy your life. I will say this, that coming up this year at Berlin Raceway, I want you to join me for the Coleman Lutz 500. That racetrack is fantastic. Coleman will be there to take selfies and sign autographs. Now, ladies, Coleman is a looker. But he's already taken. So this, tall hillbilly shit kicking drink of water is not on the market. So I don't want you to think that you can just go up and grope him. He may look like a hilljack, but he is a smart, civilized soul. Last night was a bad night in the Eric Zane Show podcast household. Excuse me. Seems like I have this scenario that I describe to you at least once a month. I noticed while sleeping last night that I had a little bit more room than I normally have. Tyler says bad day equals good story. You're right. And I remember waking up going, why do I have more room by my legs? I kind of like shifted them around. I go, there's no O'Neill in this bed. O'Neill never moves unless he gets a rumbly in his tumbly. Back in my head, I go, I bet you he's shitting somewhere right now that he shouldn't be. So the shit was actually right here. Like where I am in the studio, it's right below this table. That's where he went the farthest spot away this time from my bed. So that would mean that after the shit is on the carpet, it then has to go across this room, through that door, all the way to the end of the closet, make a hard right to the other end of the closet, into the bedroom, and up my nose. In the past, he's had a tendency to just go into the bathroom where he's smart enough, I guess. This is great. He used to take dumps in the shower, but the shower is closed. So what he did was he went into the bathroom and peed, and then he opened up the door, walked through the bedroom, came into here, and he went poo. The smell wakes me up. It's 5 a.m. I take it back. It's, it was 5. It took, 10, 15, 20 minutes to get all this secured and to clean up this catastrophe. I get up and I know there's trouble. I go into the bathroom. No poo, just pee. And it's everywhere, It's these 12 by 12 ceramic tiles. So all where the grout is where the pee is. It's like the canal system in Venice. Just yellow. Oh, fuck. Well, I got to find the poo. So I follow this trail, and I discover it. I go, oh, shit, and it's bad. I mean, it's historically atrocious catastrophe. I get all my tools of the trade to clean this mess up. Pooh Bear's helping me. We tag team it. And, you're in that weird spot now. By the time I get back into bed and clean everything up. And then O'Neill the whole time is in the bed. And his ears are down. And you ever see those videos, dog shaming? Where the dog knows that the dog did something wrong. I always feel so bad for those dogs. Because all you have to do is say something like, O'Neill, what did you do? And it's just like, Oh, my God. He's terrified. He's so sad. And I can't do that for any more than like 2 seconds because then I'm like, it's okay, buddy. You must have really had to go. It's okay. And I gave him a big hug. The one thing he doesn't do, though, is when he has to go, he doesn't tell you, though. The only thing he does is nonverbal. So if I'm in the kitchen and he has to go to the bathroom, he'll come up and he'll just look at me, and he might go, but it's quiet, you know? And so he doesn't really, like, vocalize it. Whereas Darla and Bruce do, you know, let me out. So they do vocalize. Bruce, or O'Neill's not that great at it. So for whatever reason, I guess he didn't get let out or something before he went to bed. But I just felt so bad. My God. Poor guy. Maureen says, I hate those dog shaming videos. Dogs have feelings. They don't need to be shamed. Well, yeah, but like the ones where they like destroy a couch. And then usually I think there's one that I've seen. There's these two dogs. They're both some type of lab. And there's a video where they're both seated next to each other, the labs. And the mom says, Fido, who did this? And then Fido will lift up his paw and put it onto the head of the other dog. And the dog has a look like, oh, no, he just ratted me out. And then there's the one where the same thing happens. The one dog rats the other dog out. And the one that did it, like, headbutts the one that's ratting him out. How do they know? How does he know he's getting ratted out? So that was my night last night. I revealed to you during the Patreon bonus podcast. I got a phone call during the Patreon bonus yesterday. And by the way, thank you to the people who recently have signed up on Patreon. I always appreciate that. Even if it's just the 7-day free, I just want you to try it. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. So I was sitting there doing the Patreon, and I get a phone call, and it's Dougie from Bosco's Pub. And I'm like, okay, right away I see that. I go, he's in trouble. I'm 10 minutes into the Patreon bonus podcast. I mute the mic. Hello. Dude, we're getting hammered. I need you. I go, that's it. That's all you had to say. Chatted for as far as I could. And then I'm actually headed out the door at 6 p.m. Supposedly the line is like the whole dining area is full. Outside is full. Inside is full. Dozens of tables. Dougie has tickets lined all the way back. There's people out the door for whatever reason. There's a wait. It doesn't happen that often. And poor Dougie is the only cook. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's buried. He is buried. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to walk into the kitchen, and it's going to be nuts. I get in the truck. I start it up. I start backing out, and I get a text message. It says, if you're not on your way yet, don't come. My dad came in. So Big Doug came in. So I'm like, totally fine. But I was ready. I was ready to get over there. Man Bun Chris says, R.I.P. those poor raps. Fantastic story. Thank you for reminding me of that. My God, worth telling again. When it comes to making a rap, I got it down. Like, there's a right way and a wrong way to do this thing. But I nailed it. I'm fast, and I don't ever split the wrap. If you put the wrap together and you roll it and then it splits, you got to start all over. I put all the ingredients on the open wrap. Now, it's my job to roll them. But Doug Sr., he's constantly getting out of his lane. He's at the grill, fucking around, and I'm building the burgers and the wraps. I step away for half a second, and Ding Dong gets away from the grill and starts to wrap my wrap. Now, I know how to wrap a fucking wrap. He starts to wrap it, and he splits it. God damn it. So now he's on a mission. He gets another wrap. He dumps the contents of the first wrap into the second wrap. He tries to roll it. He splits it. Now he looks at me. He goes, I can't believe you did this. You put too much there's too much ingredients here. The wrap can't contain it. Now, I've done this 8 billion times the same way every time. And I'm successful at it every goddamn time. He does it again. Destroys the third wrap. He does it again. Destroys a fourth wrap. He picks all of the destroyed wrap and its contents now and puts it over his head like King fucking Kong and slams it into the goddamn garbage can like Shaq dunking a ball. And goes, God damn it! This is so loud that not only did everybody in the restaurant hear it, but I would say in the surrounding community, they heard it. This was intense. This was a regular thing. He loses his shit. So we then started over. I don't even know how we pulled ourselves out of that tailspin. It was so bad. So I did not come in. Now, as I understand it, Doug has kind of pulled himself away from the business. He's letting Dougie run it, which is Junior. Dougie is not going to slam dunk wraps. He's much more in control of his emotions than Doug. But from my standpoint, that might be one of the most entertaining things that I've ever seen in my life. You haven't lived, you've seen this huge man slam dunk a wrap into the trash with so much authority that there's potential that the tile underneath the garbage can breaks from the impact of the wrap hitting the bottom of the can. That was one of the last times I worked there, too. There was one time I went in there. I think the last time I went in there, it's probably like 5 months ago. And Doug E. called me in. When I say Doug E., that's Junior. Doug E. called me in to work because Doug was having back pain. And I come walking in the front door. And he's seated there, and you can tell he's in distress, and he eventually leaves, finally. And I go walking up, and I go, hey, buddy, how's the back? And he said something. I went, okay. I walked 10 more steps, and Doug E. is in the back. I go, hey, I just asked your dad how he was doing, and he told me to go fuck myself. He actually goes, fuck you. Tophus says, I wouldn't work with that shit either. No, it's great. I love it. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, they should have cameras in there. That is an entertaining place to work. You got to, A, be willing to let it slide off your back, and B, have thick skin. The only way you can make that work. So much fun. And then, good news. Dougie says to me, hey, man, can you work Saturday? I need someone for lunch, and I need someone for dinner. I go, fuck yes. I thought you'd never ask. Of course. So I think I'm going to be there all day Saturday. I got to check with Pooh Bear, though. Chris brings up the time that Dougie fell. Holy shit. He was standing on one of the benches, and the bench slid out from under him. And, man, he went down, and he was caught on the restaurant cameras. I don't have it in front of me. Otherwise, I'd grab it. I got to remember to get that so we can play it again. Holy shit, it was incredible. It wasn't nearly as bad, though, as what happened to the dude last night at the Pirates game, the baseball game. Oh. Let's go in reverse order. An eyewitness is reporting, I was seated 5 rows behind this guy. He was drunk. The inning before, he ripped off his shirt and poured half a beer all over himself. He jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got the base hit. He jumped up so quickly while being drunk, he literally propelled himself off of the ledge. He did not do this on purpose. No one pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend, a friend, and another lady. The friend ran to the lower deck in center field and jumped onto the field. Here's the guy laying there. This is the video. I want you to keep your eyes up here. See that blue band there? That's the divider between the upper deck and the field. So over around this area, I think you can see my cursor moving. Over around here is where this guy's going to come flying out of. There's a baseball player on the field here. There's a guy running here. He's going to fall right about here. Here you go. Oh, holy shit. Wow. Okay, he's now standing. Well, that's weird. He's excited. Now he's over. Whoa. Isn't that something? 21 feet, and there's a chance he's going to die. This was an ugly scene. They administered first aid. He is in critical condition. Yikes. I don't know if he's going to make it. Because if you don't have to fall very far before there's a pretty good chance you're going to die. It's just a handful of feet. Maureen says, holy shit, it looks like a dummy falling. Yeah, it's kind of like that scene in Jimmy's movie. What was Jimmy's movie called? Night Blood? Blood Moon? Blood Moon, that's what it was. When the vampire was thrown off the cliff. Bob, who's in Pennsylvania, he says, ugh, typical stupid Pittsburgh behavior. Might as well just be Ohio. Tyler says he jumped up so forcefully, he did a Superman-style up, and away jump and hurled right over that wall. Stevie, who works on the college campus, says a few years ago someone jumped off the top floor of the parking ramp on campus. He lived. Back when I was working at GRD, a guy died when he jumped off the top of the 5-story parking ramp. And he landed on Ottawa. And so he hits the pavement. Andy Rent said, someone just jumped off the. We go over there, and we're looking out of his studio, and he was playing Christmas music at the time. And it was that Elvis song. It was like a Hawaiian Christmas. So picture Hawaiian style Elvis Christmas song playing. The soundtrack in our ears as we looked out the window at this guy face down with like blood pooling, getting bigger and bigger underneath his head with, a brain flying out of him was that fucking song. And I'll never forget, it really affected Joe, and he puked. It was bad. It was a horrible scene. And then before you know it, the cops showed up. They put a sheet over the guy and crime scene investigation or whatever the hell. It was really bad. There was also a dude on the other side of the building. There's a memorial for him now. That art museum, there was a window cleaner who, there was some malfunction that took place, and he tumbled and fell to his death right there also on Ottawa, like 150 yards away from the first one I was telling you about. And we used to have a guy on the air named Spud. He was a real fucking idiot. And he was on the air. He wasn't idiotic here. I just say he was idiotic because he used to spew all this right-wing bullshit on the air all the time. But he was all fucked up because he was like, hey, that's Jet, cold hard bitch, or whatever the hell. And then you hear him go, oh my God. It was like the audio. Some guy just fell on it. He's just laying there. Oh my God. He's like freaking out on the air. It was horrible. So bad. Then there's the guy who is lives right next door to one of our best friends in this community. Her name is Chris. And this was the guy, you remember this news story about the guy at the Motley Crue concert in Indianapolis at the facility where the Colts play. And he fell from the upper deck down, and he landed. There's like a plexiglass divider, similar to like what you might see on the outside of a hockey rink, that exists on the end of the stairwells that go up and down. Don't know why it's there, but this guy's falling, and his left leg goes on one side of the plexi, and his right leg goes on the other side of the plexi. And it does a number on him. So what caught the impact, the brunt of the impact, was his actual taint. So it destroyed his pelvis and his hips, and he had to have his cock cut off. I'm not kidding you. Now all he has is like cock stump. And like when he pees, it just dribbles out of it. It's just a big dribble fest. But cock is gone. He mangled his own cock. He was so fucked up. And so that happens. And then this was revealed later on. After the fact, according to the neighborhood gossip, there was the wife is taking care of the guy. And then I guess it's revealed that there was an extramarital affair. So this was like injury to insult. So he's got a deal already with no more cock and this horrible recovery. And this woman who hates you now has to take care of you. Holy shit. I need an update from those fuckers. I need some neighborhood gossip, man. We love our neighborhood gossip around here. It's awesome. All right. Well, anyway, I think this guy's in bad shape that took that fall. One more time in case you missed it. God, did he propel himself? What a disaster. Shit. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my life. For you folks that are watching the show on Facebook and YouTube, I am now going to send you on your way. If you want the full show, the rest of it, it's at twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Audio, wherever you download shows. Patreon at patreon.com/Eric Zane. patreon.com/Eric Zane. I'll play for you the audio today with Ben Glaze on Who Are These Freebeers of Kelly completely pissed off about this alleged slight that she felt she received. I'll let you be the judge. I know it was vastly inappropriate for the content they were talking about. I'm sure Freebeer was like, shut the fuck up. You can't be airing this shit like this. You know? I'm telling you, her and I are not that different. That is something that I would have done. patreon.com/Eric Zane. 7 days free. Sign up. Reach out to me via email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliner Striping inbox. Don't be sending me messages on Messenger in a clandestine fashion. Let's actually have an adult conversation. Be happy to talk to you. What else do I have for you? Oh, hire me on Cameo. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. They cost $20. That's it. That's it for you on Facebook and YouTube.